Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Diary of a Cocaine Addict. This is the weekly show that brings you real talk around the subject of addiction and, of course, recovery. Now, I am your host, Sarah Ibrahim, the Recovery Witch, and it is my privilege and my joy to be here with you today because I have a very special guest with me. Now, those of you that catch this show regularly will know that on the alternate weeks, I interview people and I really aim to provide like a holistic view of addiction and recovery because it looks different for all of us. You know, like my recovery is different from your recovery, and that's different from the next person's, and that is okay. Like, essentially, I do not believe that there is any one way to recover. And the reason that I share in the way that I do is so that my listeners can see that wherever they're at, that there is somebody that has already traveled that path, right? And so, with all that said, I have a very special guest with us today who is all the way from the US of A, although I can't remember.
What just happened? You froze.
Are we back?
We are back. Okay, I was
I
like,
am,
what just happened?
I am so sorry. So, my Wi Fi is notoriously dodge in this room. I'm really, really sorry. So, anyway, without further ado, my very special guest today is none other than the lovely Stacey Fant. Stacey,
Yeah.
welcome to the show, my darling.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm good to be here. It's great to be here.
Whereabouts in the States are you from? Remind me.
I'm from Arkansas.
Wow. And what time of day is it over there?
It is 5 a.m.
Oh my goodness. So, listeners, bit of appreciation for the lovely Stacey Fan who has got herself up and out of bed at 5 a.m. just to be with us today. So, thank you so much. Stacey, do you want to take a moment to just introduce yourself and, share a bit
Sure,
about
sure.
who you are?
Um, I'm Stacy, of course. Hi. I'm just kind of a small town girl trying to make it in this big bad world. I've got 4 kids, 4 bonus kids, and 5 great grandbabies. I said great, but they're not great grandbabies. But you know what I mean. But they're my oldest will be 10 just very shortly, and then we've got a year old. So I mean. Um, I've got a wonderful husband. He does everything he can for me. He's very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a retired phlebotomist. Yes, I'm
Wow.
I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. Go figure. Um, I'm actually 22 months into my recovery.
Fabulous.
Um,
Congratulations, my darling.
when someone talks about, recovery and sobriety, it's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It really is because when you're in recovery, you're healing. When you're in sobriety, not so much. Not so much. And most of my life, I have traded one addiction for another.
Yeah.
Um, it was an eating disorder addiction, then drugs, then alcohol, then back to the eating disorder, back to the drugs. I mean, it was just
Mm-hmm.
a never ending cycle and it never stopped.
Yeah, I totally understand. So what was the point at which you said no more 22 months ago? What built up to that day?
I almost died.
Wow,
I wound up in the hospital in ICU fighting for my life.
that'd do it.
Um, it wasn't alcohol poisoning or anything like that.
Mhm.
It was something that it sticks with you. I threw a bilateral pulmonary embolism.
Do you want to tell us more about what that means in English?
It is a blood clot that traveled from my heart and hit my lungs.
Wowza.
Um, it was very scary,
Mhm.
and I was sitting on this very couch and nearly died.
My goodness me. So what was the trigger for that? Was that from previous
Mhm.
addictions that had led up to that?
That, and of course, the chemotherapy, and, I mean, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing right there at that
Mm.
that last, but life. got to me and I couldn't handle it anymore. I
Yeah.
was done. I mean, I had 7 or 8 traumatic things that happened to me all at once, and I just couldn't handle it. I mean, it was just back to back to back to back to back, and, that was the only way that I could find solace was picking up a beer can and being numb.
Yeah, like so many of us, and
Mhm.
essentially that's what we're all doing, isn't it? We're running from something, whether we think we're doing it just to have a good time or we're doing it knowing we're, seeking an escape. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
that is the bottom line, isn't it? That we're running from something. So, with that said, I'm curious to know now, say if any one of these 7 or 8 traumatic incidents were to reoccur or a different version of, how would you deal with that now in sobriety?
Well, there's been a few instances, during sobriety, not even a year into my sobriety, I lost my
Mm.
dad.
Oh, goodness me,
Yeah,
Stacey. I'm
actually, we're
sorry.
we're 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 coming up on a year in just a few weeks. Just
Wow.
the day before Thanksgiving, if you want to know the truth.
Mhm.
Um, that was probably the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
But um, you know that saying, "Pain demands to be felt." You can't bury it. You have to feel it,
Yeah.
and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. The pain that I'm feeling sucks,
Mm.
but I have to feel it in order to understand it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it all boils down to. Pain demands to be felt.
It's such a shock to the system, isn't it, to
It
actually
is.
I mean, that's a biggie anyway, your dad dying, like, it's not like, you
Um,
just
my sister had passed back in 2018. That was too much. And
mm,
then, you know, my sister and my dad, they were, we were all like this. We were
yeah.
inseparable. So now I'm learning to forge through this life, but knowing that my dad is still with me.
Yes.
He's still guiding me, he's still showing me what to do,
Mhm.
and, I mean, there's been some instances where I know for well on it was my dad, and we've got, the beautiful sunrises and sunsets. My
Mhm.
dad was a painter, and I take pictures of that, and I take comfort in knowing that maybe my dad may have had something to do with that. I
That's so
mean,
beautiful.
it helps, it
Mhm.
does.
Yeah. That is so, so beautiful. I mean, f feelings are just I can't even articulate what I wanna say. When I went into recovery, the main thing that jumps out at me is the whole having feelings, identifying those feelings, being okay with feeling those feelings, and then navigating through said feelings. Like,
That's where the dicey part gets through, and
mm,
sometimes it's not easy. I journal, I'm telling you, I'm on my, like, 700th notebook because, I mean, I'm talking I write everything.
yeah.
If my husband made me mad, I'm telling you, I'm writing it in that journal. It's duh, duh,
Um,
duh, 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 and then by the time I'm done, I'm not mad anymore
yeah,
because I put all my rage and anger out into that,
yeah,
paper. So,
absolutely.
journaling, um, let me think. I walk a lot. I have to.
Mm,
I have to
mhm.
keep busy. Just walking. I try to stay away from the news because it's depressing.
Yes, agreed.
Um, you know, I'm on antidepressants, and 22 months ago, I was still on said antidepressants, right?
Mhm,
Okay, 7 years ago, the same medication I was put on,
mhm.
they wouldn't I don't understand what happened, but somehow or another, I fell through the system. I was getting my meds, taking my meds, but I wasn't going to therapy. I wasn't doing
Mm,
anything that I was supposed to do, but I still allowed to get my meds. I don't understand that, but still, that's where we are. How I'm still alive, I'll never know because that medicine, one of them was a hypnotic to just totally knock me out. Ah,
see ya.
cat. Yeah, my cat decided that she wanted to knock that off. Stay over there.
Mm,
Um, and it just there's the mirtazapine. I don't know if you've heard of that.
no.
Mirtazapine, it is an antidepressant as well as a sleeping pill. Now, I still do take that, but I've come way down from the 45
Mhm.
milligrams. I'm down to 15 now.
Oh, wow. That's like, what,
Yes.
a third?
That's a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, from 45 to 15
Mm.
mgs is, I think by the first of the year, we're gonna come off of it.
That's gotta feel good, Stacey, right?
It does, it does. I've taken
Freedom.
myself off my clonazepams,
Wow.
and that is a hard drug to take off. It is. It's a benzodiazepine, and it's one of them easy drugs like Xanax to abuse,
Mhm.
and I did,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I did. I mean, whatever I could do to get that numb, high feeling, I did,
Mm.
because I did not want to feel.
Yeah.
And now I legitimately sit there and make myself feel it.
Mhm. I even noticed to this day, like, some days we all have those days, don't we, where it's just like, and like everything's kind of going wrong or it all seems a bit overwhelming or whatever. And on those days, I really notice instantly my thought goes to like, make a call. And I'm like, God, I'm 18 months in recovery now. Like, when is this
Uh-huh.
default thought going to just go away? Because it still does catch my attention, even though I don't act on it. Like, I consciously observe myself having this thought. And I'm just like, come on, man, this is old news now. But I guess 20 years of using that as a tried and tested technique
It
of
is.
dealing with stuff, versus 1.5 years in recovery.
Mhm. Now,
Tells
something that
those
I was
stories.
told, you have to, from you sit around and you wonder why someone doesn't react the way you think they should, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and that stems on along of your feelings are hurt, right? Not everybody's gonna feel the way you do. And
No.
I had to learn that the hard way, and I'm learning that now. I am going through something, and we're not gonna talk about it just yet,
No, cool.
but, I'm going through it and I'm feeling it. But I am not struggling with the information that I learned. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that's so good.
I have learned something. I'll inbox it to you because it's huge.
Sure.
Um,
But I
but,
think emotional intelligence for us, especially as addicts, like what somebody told me a little while ago was that whenever it was that our addiction started, so for me, say for argument's sake, around about 19, like properly, yeah. At that point, I cut off my feelings, right,
Mhm.
for the next 20 odd years. And so emotionally, I'm processing shit as a 19-year-old right now in a 40-year-old's body. Like I've got all of
Yep.
this catching up to do. And it is a lot, isn't it? Because it's just like,
It's overwhelming sometimes, and, I have caught myself in this past week just stopping and going, "I need a minute,"
yes.
and I didn't know that I could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I could just stop and say, "I need a minute," no matter where
Yeah.
I'm at,
Yeah.
but I did, and it
Yeah.
worked. It worked.
Exactly.
People just backed off of me for a minute, and
Mhm.
they let me gather my thoughts.
That's exactly where I was last week. I spent Monday morning, I was trying to do some task or other, and I just got completely overwhelmed with it. And I suddenly had this thought come in my head, which was like, you've completely lost sight of what it is that you actually want to do. Like my head was just full of this
Mhm,
noise of what everyone else thinks that I should be doing and where I should be going and how I should be
mhm,
doing, and yada yada. And I was just like, oh my days, right? And in that moment, I cancelled every single thing in my diary for that week. The relief that I felt, Stacey, just
uh-huh,
immediately as soon as I did that. And I had all those stories like, well, what are people going to say? I've let them down, and I'm paying for these courses and I'm not showing up, and all of this stuff that we just heap on ourselves, the pressure.
mhm,
And you know what happened? I just slept. I slept and I slept. I slept and I slept. And I was like, I didn't even realize I was this freaking tired. But creating that space to intentionally just go, oh, you know what? I feel like having a nap now. Or this was a good one. I read a book. I haven't read a freaking book in 4 years. There's not
nice.
time. And so it really, really showed me the value in creating balance in your life. You can't just keep giving out
Right.
without refilling your cup. So, yeah, definitely taking a moment, whatever that looks like, is highly recommended.
I don't know why I went sideways. I'm gonna show you something. Something
Okay.
that I keep. You'll have to excuse the mess. My daughter's moving.
Let me ask you a question while you're still looking for it, Stacey. Here's something that I've
Yes.
been asking my guests lately, which
Huh.
is how do you get to a point where you want to stop? Like, if you know that you need to stop, yeah,
Hmm.
but you don't want to stop, how do you get to that point where you do want to stop?
Honestly, that's tricky because I got to the point where I knew I needed to,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to
Exactly. That's what I'm
because
saying.
I haven't got to that point in my when November or the January 14th happened. I wasn't there in my life where, everything was it was gonna go great. I
Mm,
was in there, I was fighting for my life, and I'll be honest, when I walked out of that hospital, I thought, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay sober for a day and I'm gonna be fine." That's exactly what I thought. Uh-uh. I got home and I did some research.
yeah.
I wasn't fine.
Wow.
Um, I'm gonna show you something.
Go on. I can't see that, my darling. What is it? A Christmas tree?
That was
Oh,
me.
oh my goodness. Wow.
Yes. That was me 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years.
Wowza.
2 years, 200 pounds down,
That's incredible.
over 200 pounds. I'm 135, and that was 355 pounds.
That is absolutely
Yeah. It's not been easy. Like I said, I walk a lot. But,
yeah.
you asked, when do you get to that point? When you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
There's a song, it says, "Fall face first, hit rock bottom." Isn't
Mm.
that in a sense what we all do?
Well, here's the thing, is what I've been trying to do is encourage the people that I'm having conversations with to
Mhm.
not wait until it all goes completely tits up before they do something about it. And the problem that most people have, which is a problem that I had for a very long time, is that they know that they freaking need to stop like
But
yesterday.
they can't.
But they just, it's not even that they can't, they don't want to, and therefore they can't, you know? And it's just this conflict
Exactly. You don't want to, you
internally.
have to. It's like I learned, you can't force anyone into recovery. You
No, of
can't.
course not. Of course not.
Um, a wing and a prayer is not gonna force them there. They're not gonna
Mm,
get there when they want to or when they feel like it.
mhm.
They're gonna go when they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I've been trying to just kind of generate a bank of ideas from people that have been there like us as to ways that they might be able to start to move the needle in the direction that they want to go, like to start moving themselves into that place where
Um,
actually they do want to.
if you are a family member of someone that's struggling, I know one thing that does not help. Um, don't sit there and tell them that you're gonna stop this. You're gonna
Mm,
stop because
yeah,
that doesn't help.
no, I
I trust
know.
me, it don't. Um, you have to be supportive of them. I'm not saying enable them. Don't go and buy their alcohol. Don't go and buy their drugs. But you've got to be there for them. Sobriety and recovery, it's two different things. I think we talked about that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I completely lost where I was going with that.
Do not worry. Do not worry
I
at all.
hate when I do that. Um, okay, my children, they are very supportive. They
Mm,
make sure that, I mean, they called me from the very first moment that they found out that I was going in the hospital. I mean, I had 4 of them calling me while I'm en route to the hospital.
goodness.
I mean, it's just like, and I mean, they at first thought I was having a heart attack, and I mean, I guess in a sense I did.
Mm,
Because it released from my right leg, traveled, it hit my heart, and then went to my right lung. I'm very lucky to be sitting here.
yeah, every time
Very
you say
lucky.
it, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. Um,
But that's got to give you a completely different perspective, right, Stace?
it does. It
Yeah.
does. I lost a very dear friend 2 weeks later to the very exact same
Oh
thing.
my days.
At first, I didn't understand why. Why was I left? Why did
Mm,
I? And then I realized it's because I needed things to do here.
yeah,
I needed to do some stuff here. I'm needed here.
exactly
So
that. So
that's where I'm at.
tell us on that note, what is it that you are doing now? Because I know when we
Oh
spoke, you
gosh.
absolutely blew me away with what you're doing
Um,
over there and your
okay.
vision.
My dad always dreamed of opening up a homeless shelter for boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna go there. I am going to open up a recovery center for women because there isn't one. And if there is, I haven't found one. Now there's co-ed. Now there's one for men, but I have yet to find one solely based for women.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the women are the one that are dealing with the addictions the most. They are. The reason being because some of them don't know how to handle what's going on in their personal
Mm.
life. I know I didn't.
Yeah. I know I
And
didn't.
I mean, it can be this recovery center. I want to teach them, bring them in a complete shell. Bring them in, show them how recovery works, get them in a kitchen if they like to cook, get them outside if they like to be outside,
Mhm.
get them something, help them get a job. This is not a rehab.
Yeah.
This is recovery.
Yeah.
Rehab, you're probably going to relapse. Recovery, you're going to deal with everything that got you there to begin
Yeah.
with.
I
And
just love
that's
that.
the most powerful thing.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And I can't wait to see you bring that to life, Stacey. That is just
It's getting there.
oh,
It's getting there.
so powerful.
We've bought a whole bunch of stuff to go in the place.
Amazing.
I think we're going to start with 8 beds. I think that seems feasible.
Yeah.
Um, my dad would be very proud right now. I got my minister's license, but I'm not using it yet
Okay.
until I feel that it's right.
Okay.
Yes, I have my license, but I'm still treading those license,
Mhm.
real lightly. Um, I also am on the board of a wonderful, amazing group. It's called Stand Up International. I run the recovery page of it. Um, ladies, check this page out. It's on Facebook.
Mhm.
Y'all need to get a part of that group. It is the one of the biggest women's movements in the States and worldwide as far as that goes. It's worldwide.
Amazing. Send me the link over for that and I will
I
share
will
it
do
in
that. I will.
my YouTube. I'm not even on that myself. How is that possible,
How
Stacey?
is that? I didn't know
You've been
you weren't.
keeping this a secret from me. Yeah, so this is awesome work. Like the way that I think recovery changes us so that like it's so intrinsic to us to want to pay it forward,
Mhm.
isn't it? Right? Like this is
Yes.
one of the key things that helps us to stay straight and to make sense of the chaos as well. It's like, okay, I wouldn't want to do this if I hadn't come from that place, most likely. And also I
Yeah.
wouldn't have the compassion and the empathy and the lived experience in order to help other people if I hadn't first done it. And so it just means that all of that chaos and carnage, it wasn't for nothing, right?
Exactly.
It's
Um,
given you this platform.
7 years ago, if you had told me, "Stacy, you are gonna be a recovering alcoholic
Mhm,
and you're gonna be struggling with your with what's going on,"
mhm.
I'd have said, "Whatever,
Don't
whatever." Because I
compare.
mean, I worked 18-hour days,
Goodness
never
me.
sat down. Yeah, never sat down, never stopped.
Mm,
Whammo. Guess what? You had to feel it to get it. You
yeah,
had to go through it to understand it. I had to go through the heartbreak. I had to go through the loss. I even had to go through the addiction
yeah,
so I
yeah.
can understand how to help others.
Exactly that. And I just think this is the most powerful way to do it. And I think every
Mhm.
person in recovery is the same in that sense. It's just that we deliver it in different ways. Like I'm here shouting about it all over social media. And
Uh-huh.
just because that's my way of paying it forward doesn't mean that it fits for the next person. You're going to set up your recovery center. And, people are doing some amazing work out there in the field of recovery right now. And it's mind blowing the amount of different ways that we're coming up with to support and help each other, which
Mhm.
is why I think it's important for me to get people on this show who are,
Oh, yes.
doing different things so that you can see, when I was stuck in that cycle, Stacey, I didn't know what was available to me at all. I mean, obviously I wasn't looking to find out what was available because I didn't want
Right.
to stop taking drugs. Why would I look?
Exactly.
But when I did stop, I was like, okay, well, I know there's AA and CA and all of that jazz, but that doesn't vibe
Mhm.
with me. So now what do I do? And so I just kind of figured it out on my own. And that's what's got me to here. And so this is part of, again, the reason why I want to share this stuff so that people
Exactly.
can see actually there's thousands of options out there and it doesn't all involve like going to 90 meetings in 90 days. And I'm not saying that that doesn't work. It absolutely can and does if that's right
It
for
can,
you.
but it wasn't right for me.
No,
It
and
wasn't
it
for me
wasn't right for
because
me.
when the first meeting I went to, I looked at my husband and I said, "I don't know about you, but, I wanna go have a beer." And he said, "Well, we're not gonna go do that though, are we?" And I was like, "Well, no, we're not, but I want to," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I have to, I guess, practice severe self-control because, I mean, this whole time, I've allowed alcohol to be around me. I let it be around me.
That's amazing.
I mean, my husband drinks, my
Mhm.
kids drink.
Mhm.
They just now it's just like, I look at a beer can and I'm like, "Ugh," I can't stand the smell of it now. That's where we are with that. I mean, my husband spilt some in the car the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
driving. He
Yeah.
wasn't. I was driving. Very safe.
Mm.
I have exciting news, but I can't share it. I'll share it with you.
Ah,
Not just yet because it's
yes.
pictures. It's exciting.
Okay, well, I
Oh, you
can't
know what?
wait.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it. We
I
just
knew
bought
you were
some
gonna.
property. Yeah, we just bought some property, 10
Okay.
acres. It's gonna happen.
Oh, this is for your recovery centre?
Yes.
Oh my God, Stacey, that is
Yes.
fabulous
Yes.
news. Congratulations, my darling. Oh my goodness.
It's real. It is real.
Wow, wow, wow.
We signed
Okay.
yesterday.
Oh, so this is hot off the press, peeps. Hot off
Yes.
the press. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be keeping you busy.
Yes, yes.
So,
And
so
I don't wanna
awesome.
be one of those that just, I own it. I wanna run this thing. I wanna be
And
in
you
there.
will.
Get my hands dirty.
And you will, absolutely. Who better
Yes.
than you, Stacey?
That's
Listen,
right.
I'm aware of time. Thank you so much for getting yourself out of bed at the crack of dawn for this.
Oh, not a problem. I enjoy it. Actually, I'm up like this every morning.
Oh, well, perfect. There you go then. Practically
Yeah.
lunchtime. Uh,
Actually, it's 3, so I'm up at 3.
oh my God, woman. I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom and your insights and, just letting the listeners know that there's hope. Okay. So what I really would love to
Absolutely.
get from you is, the details of the stuff that you've sent to us.
Okay.
And I will upload that into YouTube so that people can find you and connect with you if they want to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I definitely want to speak to you again, my lovely.
Okay, definitely. I
All
can't
right.
wait.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, this has been Diary of a Cocaine Addict. I will see you next Friday. Adios,
Bye,
folks.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.